Oh, this one's different. Okay. What is this one about? The Borg and cocaine. Uh-huh. It's a little nerdier. This one's nerdier. The Borg and cocaine, really? Uh-huh. How do you spell cocaine? C-O-C-A-I, and I'm gonna say it like that. That's how you spell cocaine. So, the Borg. This is about LLMs. Uh-huh. Or AI processing, or AI. The way the Borg were defeated. How were the Borg defeated? Anyone know? The Borg were defeated by Janeway. Put a virus. She got assimilated, and she put a virus in herself, and then the virus destroyed the Borg. So it was I guess it was like she didn't die in the end, I don't think, but whatever. They should have killed her off, because I don't think they did. I never watched all of Voyager. I mean, I might have watched like 5 or 10 episodes of it. But Janeway put a virus in herself. So she gets assimilated. After getting assimilated, the Borg eat the person, or they consume the person. They become what they eat. They assimilate. If they assimilate, I don't know, if you want to use American, if you want to use the world, you say Asian culture, black culture, German, Spanish, Italian, you assimilate the culture into the thing, and then it assimilates it, like, if they find a new nuclear bomb, they assimilate it into their technology structure. So Janeway pollutes herself, she gets assimilated by the Borg become polluted by her polluted essence, which connects to LLMs. Artists are angry. There's one of my favorite BDSM artists. You can basically take a person's work, if they have like 100 pictures or 1,000 pictures, you upload all 100 pictures into a computer. It does a Aurora, it does an AI thing, and you can make a picture in their style. So take, for example, what is a style? Picasso is a style, or Dali is a style, Salvador Dali, or you look at something and you go, hey, that look reminds me of blank. If I showed you, what could I show you and say, this reminds me of that? If I showed you a black F-117, if I showed you a black airplane and it looked kind of like an F-117, you'd be like, that's a stealth. A B-2 and a stealth bomber have a certain look to them. I could show you one that looks kind of like it, and it could theoretically exist. There could theoretically, you could make like a small drone F-117 theoretically. You'd be like, that's a stealth drone. You could be like, it would be black, it would be, what else could you do? Comic styles, artist styles, like, here's every W.C. Handy song ever written. Give me a W.C. Handy song. And the computer could probably do that. It's called doing something in the style of someone else. You can do this with writers. A lot of writers often have the same tactics and techniques in their writing. You can do this with armies. If you showed an AI every World War II battle from the perspective of every writing and every piece of picture, and it drew out, you could get a World War II American general style, or World War II company style, or lieutenant style, or captain style for a line infantry, or a battalion of, or not a battalion of artillery, battalion battery, whatever, the different layers. You could write a program that says this is how they act based on the data that comes in. They could write a thesis program of, you could do, I can do a Hulk Hogan impression. Hey there, brother! I'm doing an impression of Hulk Hogan. I'm taking information I saw from the TV. I'm going, how did Hulk Hogan talk? How did he act? He was muscly. He had a lot bigger, he had like 20-inch arms, but he would say, hey brother! And he had a goatee, and he had black, and then he had orange and yellow, and all the things that you associate with Hulk Hogan, either black and white or orange and yellow. You have the meme of Hulk Hogan, the LLM of Hulk Hogan, the LLM of a comic style, the LLM of all these different things. You know, the LLM of a carpenter, the LLM of a metal worker, the LLM of a firefighter. SOPs. You could call these SOPs in today's day and age. That might be another word. If you got the SOP sheet, if you showed them 10,000 hours of Dali painting, you could probably teach it how to paint like Dali. So this is where the problem comes in. Artists are unhappy. The computer watches them make a painting. They get 100,000 paintings. They can basically do a Dali ripoff. They can do a Picasso ripoff. They can do a BDSM artist ripoff. They can do the likeness of Trump or Obama. They can do the likeness of anything. They can do an impression of something. So they don't really understand it, but they, you know, then again, do you really understand anything? You probably don't if you're actually being honest with yourself, but whatever. We'll ignore that for now. Impression of something. You get taught something. You go to school, you learn the alphabet. Do you really understand the alphabet? Or are you just sort of given the alphabet? You went to school and they teach you the alphabet, A, B, C, D, you know, you learned it because of repetition and shit. So in today's modern age, what's going to happen is fake news. So what is fake news? Oftentimes you will see people do something where they say something is happening. It may or may not be happening, but what they're actually telling you is what's going to happen in the future. They're telling you, it's like, it would be like, if I was going to rob the bank tomorrow, I might say, hey, banks are going to start getting robbed. And then I'm self-fulfilling the prophecy. Fake news is what Trump said was happening. So what is Trump actually doing? Trump is a very smart man. He knows that information, can emulate anything. Humans can emulate stuff. If you give them the information, humans can emulate anything. If you gave the Russians all the stealth documents, they can make a stealth fighter probably. And the Chinese do it. The Chinese now have a stealth fighter, I think. The Russians, it might not be as good as the American one, but they can kind of make it. Fake news means you flood the zone with bullshit. Flood the zone with bullshit. With BS. Why do you flood the zone with bullshit? Janeway destroyed the Borg because they're gonna. Let's be very honest here. Like, people have eyes. You can see what's going on. And people emulate stuff. And there's nothing worse than watching. Like, imagine you created something and then someone just emulates it. It's a form of ownership of ideas. And then, you know, because in today's day and age, I mean, there's property. Property rights are pretty easy to understand. Don't step on people's property. But intellectual ideas are more interesting. It's a more interesting area. Flood the zone with bullshit. The Chinese have copied the living shit out of you. So you're going to have to start poisoning. You know, how many Chinese people come here to the U.S. every year? I don't know, 50,000, 100,000? You know, everybody's copying, everybody's being open with their information. And the Borg are really good at assimilating stuff. They're amazing at it. But they are not good at Janeway poisoning herself. Artists are unhappy. The industrial companies are unhappy. They don't want you. They don't want China. They don't want the Borg. They don't want the Muslims. They don't want other companies stealing their shit. So what you will see in the coming era is an increase in bullshit. You're going to see a lot more bullshit. You're going to see this whole zone flooded with bullshit. So what does that mean? You're going to see UFOs, bullshit. You're going to see rumors. Bullshit. You're going to see, and then people are just going to be tired, and they're like, okay, let's go watch a fucking football game. I'm tired of, you're going to hear rumors about each of the mayoral candidates, each of the governor candidates. The president took a piss on somebody. Obama is not from America. You're going to hear lots of bullshit. You're just going to hear so much bullshit because the human brain is very much an AI or an LLM, and if you can bullshit the brain with lots of bad information, it's hard for the brain to get situational awareness. If you're given bad information, you will have bad decision making. So, because if you bullshit in, bullshit out, So, if you feed a person lead, they become stupider. So that's Now, you might be thinking this is anti-Trump. I don't know if I'm being pro-Trump or anti-Trump here. The Chinese really did copy you guys pretty hard. And then again, you people went into a ton of debt to invade 2 Middle Eastern countries, and you got your asses kicked by Iraq and Afghanistan. So I don't really know who to blame here. I'm not really here to blame people. I'm just here to try and figure out what's going on. I don't actually have a political. I don't even know what. I don't know what's going on, so I can't tell you what to do. I can only try and guess what's going on, which is there's going to be a lot of flooded bullshit because the ability for computers to mass assess information and to create. I mean, imagine you have some fucking doctor who went to school for 8 years or 12 years, and then some robot can take his job. He's not going to be happy about that. You know, you're going to see a lot of people who are going to purposely create a lot of bullshit to hide information. And then you have stealth fighters. You don't want everyone knowing how to make a stealth fighter, do you? Do you want everyone to know how to make a nuclear bomb? Do you want everybody to have machine guns are sort of, I think you get in a lot of trouble for making a machine gun. You can make a machine gun pretty easy by buying a rifle and then 3D printing a trigger receiver. I just think you go to jail for like 20 years. But, you know, it's easy to do. It's like $50 probably. I don't know. I don't even mess with guns. But I'm assuming it's really easy to make a trigger. They're World War I triggers. They aren't complicated. These aren't new techs. Machine guns are World War I tech. So drones. There's a lot of dangerous information out there, and they're going to try and hide it. Because imagine if everybody had nukes. I think nukes are hard to get the material. Whatever. You get my point. There will be an increase in bullshit. Mm-hmm. Whatever. That's just my thoughts. The Borg. Janeway. She killed the Borg by poisoning herself. Whatever. I think that's the end of this one. Yep. Forgot. Why did I call it the Borg and cocaine? Because there's a lot of stuff that people locally will chew on. Like coca leaves were chewn on by South American people, and then people went in there. They're like, why do they chew the coca leaves? And they figure out what it is. It's actually like blah 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 blah. I'm not going to tell you. I don't know how that works exactly. And then you condense it down into cocaine. So it's assimilation. It's assimilation. It's a form of assimilation. You take a piece of information. People chew leaves, coca leaves, and then you put it into an industrial plant, and then you get cocaine. That's why I called it Borg and cocaine. It was, because you have assimilation of ideas. I have to throw this on the end. I forgot to say because it makes me seem like I'm crazy if I have cocaine in there and Borg, because assimilation is, So just want to point that out.